CU at USC is brought to you by the University of Southern California's School of Cinematic Arts. Since 1929, the USC School of Cinematic Arts has fueled and mirrored the growth of entertainment as an industry and an art form. The school offers comprehensive programs in animation and digital arts, critical studies, directing, interactive media, producing, production, and writing, all backed by a broad liberal arts education and taught by leading practitioners in each field.
Tonight on CU at USC, we have Josiah Bruny, rap artist and founder of Music Changing Lives. It's all coming up right now on CU at USC, the best college talk show on television. Hi, welcome to CU at USC. I'm your host, Lasana Smith, and tonight we are here with Josiah Bruny, rap artist and founder of Music Changing Lives. Thank you so much for being here, Josiah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so tell me something. Your rapper name is Villain.
Yes.
Or V.
Exactly.
Now, usually villain has a very negative connotation. Why did you decide to go with villain?
Well, villain, it was a street name that I stuck with, and then we turned it into a synonym of very intelligent legend living as inspiration nationally once I switched up the style of rap that I was promoting.
Okay, that's interesting to hear. And you also roll with the Villain Squad?
Yeah, Villain Squad, that's my group. We got about 5 artists that'll be coming out on my label like early 2009, and they're also promoting the same cause of not promoting the ignorance of negative rapping, sticking with gangster rap, but also trying to do something positive as well too.
How did you get into the rap game?
I've actually been in the rap game for a while. I started with my older brother Wanji, and up under a lot of guys up under Priority, James White and them, thanks to those guys, Arthur Sam, all those guys. They taught me how to start doing marketing and promotion first, and I was doing that, and after I started there, I was like, hey, I could be a rap artist. I was like, I need the big bucks. I was like, you know, if Master P is a billionaire, V is going to be a billionaire one day too.
Definitely.
And so that's where it started.
You grew up here in Los Angeles, so you're an LA native.
Right, Altadena, California.
Altadena, okay. Yeah. And you were brought up in a single family household, single parent household with your mom.
Right.
And then when you were younger, you moved with your grandparents. Tell us a little bit about that experience. What was that like?
It was interesting. Mom's was, you know, very supportive at a young age. It was like every single mom's aspect. You had to grow up and be the britches in the family, you know. It was a lot of hard times. It was a lot of good times. But I thank God for it because it made me the man that I am today.
Now, when you were living with your grandparents, you were doing great in school. Life was somewhat good as far as school and stuff was concerned. But then you had a tragic thing that happened in your past. Your cousin, Reggie, was shot and killed.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that and how that affected you growing up?
It took a big toll on our life because we lost him to gang violence on Halloween 1995. And it was real hard to bounce back from that. And so after that, it just was like a string of just outbreaks, you know, like every youth does go through when they lose somebody that's close to them. But it was something that was a learning process as well as that you go through in life. And so. Okay,
so it was a learning process with your cousin dying. And yeah. I guess part of that retaliation at one point is you actually participated in gang activity. Is that correct?
Right, yeah. It led us to the streets, you know, and doing gang violence. But it also taught us that life is short and you got to enjoy every bit of it. And so after a while, I met with Marty Blackshear. And Marty Blackshear was a gentleman that I had met during the time when I was in community schools, and he was a security guard that it basically taught me my heritage of where we came from about 1998, and that's when it started going back to the good side.
You keep saying us. Who is us?
I say us a lot because it's me and God. I always refer to us, and I say God helped me a lot through it. And I give God glory in everything. When I don't have the strength, He's my strength. So that's why I refer to us.
That's very interesting. Now, when you were in high school, like you said, Martin helped you out as far as moving on from where you were, but you were suspended at one point.
Right.
How were you able to come back from being suspended in 10th grade to actually being able to graduate on time?
It was hard. I had to do 0 period from the 11th to the 12th grade, a lot of tests. I was still first with my counselor coming to me, Mr. Waldorf, I remember his name. He was in my classroom and he said, I just don't think you're going to make it. You might as well go back to the community school. And I said, sir, with determination, I am going to make it. I was like, you find out whatever curriculum I need to catch up on and I'll do it. And he helped me a lot. He put me through so many tests and just academic studies and different groups and having to stay after school and just really buckle down. And with God's help, I made it.
Now, some people in that situation would have been fine with staying at the community school. They wouldn't have felt like they needed to go to a high school. Why did you feel like you needed to graduate at the high school with your friends?
Well, it wasn't even a friend issue. It was self-issue. At about 17, I realized that you get out of life what you put back into it. Mm-hmm. And I said, you know, there's nothing or anyone that I could blame my negative being on or my downfalls on anymore. I had to man up and say, hey, it's me. Okay. It's me that's making these myself be in these pitfalls. Because I had a good family. I didn't come from, you know, a bad background or anything like that where I didn't have parents that cared or anything of that nature. It was just you were faced with the pitfalls of peer pressure, of, you know, losing your cousin and all these different issues. Yeah. So it took a little while to just say, hey, bring it back, get back on track, you know, realize where you're from, how far you've came, realize that ancestors have died so that we can go to school, so that we can learn. And I was like, yo, I got to really shape up for myself and the people that's around me.
It's very interesting that you just mentioned about your ancestors, because I read that that was something that was very important to you. Your whole life changed once you realized what your heritage was and your African ancestry. Why did that have such an impact on you?
It had such an impact because you realize the struggles that we're faced with today, they're nothing. I mean, we got every option in the world where you have the luxury of buying $1 million home or the luxury of buying a $300,000 home or just staying in an apartment. We have the luxury of going to any restaurant establishment we want to eat at. We have a lot of luxuries that weren't available back in the day, so I really respect that.
So you took all these experiences and you decided to become a rap artist.
Yeah.
Why rap?
Rap, it was one reason. I like money and I like nice things, but it's like any artist, you want the best. But I also wanted to be a spokesperson for change and that you could make it. Rap is a powerful vehicle. Like some of the artists say, we have more impression on the youth than the president does. If you look at what Puffy did with the Rock the Vote campaign, from what Russell Simmons and the great guys do with all the campaigns that they're pushing now. So rap is a big vehicle, and I wanted to use that vehicle for something positive.
A lot of times when people look at rappers, the first thing they think about is they're hustlers or they're gangsters. They're very negative stereotypes that are associated with rap. How do you combat those stereotypes? You
just, you have to deal with it in a responsible way, I should say, of your image that you promote and that you hang out with is going to come back to you. So know who you're hanging out with. I mean, a lot of artists don't look at it and try to say, I am a role model and try to be responsible for what they've done. So it's like I just take charge of my life and I project myself as a God-loving person and, you know, people see that in me.
What would you say your rap style is?
A West Coast Nas.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how would you describe West Coast Nas? Is it kind of storytelling? Because I know Nas is kind of a storyteller.
Yeah, storytelling is bringing you real life stories. The name of the album's Verbal Biography, and that's a real life story. And we've just kept it going. Verbal Biography 1, Part 2, Part 3, and that's what it's going to stick as. The titles of the albums won't change on my full-length albums that I put out, just for the simple fact it's going to stick with real life stories. It's going to stay on the mainstream of being positive and being something that I've really gone through.
Now, your record label is Higher Ground Records.
Right.
Is that your label? Is that a label that you just work with and you're affiliated with? How does that work?
That's actually my own label, and I was blessed by my grandfather, Charles Crawford, and my grandmother, Joanne Crawford, investing in me in about 2003. We started off with like $7,000, and now it's turned into a $500,000 company within the last year or two, you know, so we've been blessed. It's all independent. We own 100% of everything. We're looking for distribution right now, but we're not hungry. We're still in the point where I got my album in Virgin Records, got it in Tower, I got it in Amoeba, so I'm doing well, you know, as far as an independent artist goes. We've sold over 70,000 units on the current album, V Part 2, so that's moving well. We've also been featured on a lot of DVDs, movie soundtracks. I've been on like the Exit Strategy soundtrack, Street Fury, so many different ones, so the music has taken me far.
What made you decide to even go the route of having an independent record label? Why didn't you just decide, okay, I just want to be with the majors?
Well, the majors take a lot of your chip, and chip in our language means money.
Okay.
And I wasn't with it. I was like, yo, there has to be a way that you can own 100% of your company and not have to deal with a middleman. And so I sat down in the library for about 9 months researching the music industry, how to collect your money, how to own it, how to start a corporation under it. And I just did it on my own. And I said, now we're on higher grounds. We're going to take it to the next level. And that's where we got the name Higher Ground Records from.
So you really educated yourself on all this. This wasn't something you just woke up one day and said, I'm just going to start my own label. Where's the check? And let's just get going. You actually educated yourself on this whole process.
Yeah, I took a lot of time into it. That's what a lot of artists need to start doing. They need to educate themselves about everything they're getting into, because nobody's going to give you free information. Nobody's going to give it.
No one gives free information at all. You have a single. Can you tell us the name of the single?
It's called Confundida.
Okay.
In Spanish, that means confused. And we also have one called Wild and So Cold.
Are you bilingual? Why is this Confundida? I mean, what is that about?
I'm Haitian, and it was like, being from Haiti, we speak French, Creole, and Spanish. So I was like, let me throw the little Spanish lingo in there. It was funny. We were in the studio one day, and I came up with this concept. I was like, I want to make a song about being confused in love, but have it in Spanish.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? And the singer was in the studio, and she did it. Her name is Sequence, and it's a hit. So
very interesting. It's a cool song. People should definitely check it out. It's on your MySpace page?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, which is?
Villain Squad. MySpace.com at Villain Squad, /Villain Squad.
Very nice. Now, how do you decide how you're going to create a song?
It goes a lot with emotions, feelings. Like I said, I just deal with real life stories. So I take things that I've been through in the past and I just put them into words.
We're about to go into a break, but I would love if you could share maybe a verse of Confundida for our viewers.
That's what's up. We'll do it. And it goes, the passion of love consumed my whole body, walking with my head high because I found my number one hottie. No more searching late night at parties, abusing my body with nobody's. Need a queen with a pure mind and a body that'll pause me in time. Confident, rude, and cocky at time, but never step out of line and tell you in a minute that her heart is mine. Intellect is divine, compare it to an aged bottle of wine. Soft, smooth, and fine. Couldn't catch a lady with an average Mac line, so I bought her a rose and asked her if she dated my kind. Humble but thugged out at times.
Wow.
Man.
Very cool stuff.
Thank you.
Very cool stuff. Well, we have so much more to still talk about, so stay tuned for more Josiah Bruny right after these messages for See You at USC.